Greetings, webheads, and welcome to episode 37 of Witty Banter, yet another Marvel Crisis Protocol podcast. I'm Patrick.
I'm Alex.
I'm David.
This is JP.
We are here to help you get better at and have more fun with your Crisis Protocol. So don't adjust your dials, webheads. It is, in fact, true that this is now the third episode in a row where we are releasing on something that's close to a regular schedule. We hope you like it. We hope you are finding us in your feed a little more regularly, can kind of count on us coming in. So we hope to keep this going for you. Before we get back into the affiliation list, pick up where we left off, we would like to talk a little bit about a event that we've got coming up. Alex, you want to talk a little bit about Brawlhalla?
Yeah. Brawlhalla is going to be a standard challenger event hosted here at the Gretna Legion VFW. It's a good way to raise a little bit of funds and make a nice donation to our vets. All the money goes towards the VFW just to help them raise a little bit of money. And yeah, I just said this is our second year putting it on for them. This is technically the third tournament we've done for them. We've done pretty well for them, and it's just nice to show a little bit of appreciation while also having some fun with our nerd games that we play. $20 entry fee. It'll be at least 3 rounds, and everything will be legal up to day of the tournament. It is currently LVO qualifier pending. I haven't heard back yet from those guys, but I should hear back soon. It is going to be November 15th, Saturday, November 15th.
All right. So what we will do is we'll put a link to the Longshanks link for the tournament in the show notes. So you can click on that there. We will also put that out on all the socials, which is at Witty Bantercast. So if you're not following us on the socials, really, what are you doing with your life? But we will go ahead and we'll get that information out to you. And if you're anywhere near the Omaha area on November 15th, we would love to see you. Okay, so
I also want to say, as Rocket would say, there's beer on the ship. There will be alcohol. So if you are into that,
I can't believe I forgot that important part.
Having some beers and playing games, then come on down.
I will say that the Post is absolutely my favorite venue I've been to play in a tournament. It is incredibly cool. So we would really like to see you there. All right, so let's dive back in. We will pick up where we left off, and we will start with talking about the defenders, just to kind of refresh everybody's recollection, or if you're just catching up. What we're going to do, the idea of this conversation we're having is we're going to talk through each of the affiliations, go through their leaders, go through their rosters, go through their tactics cards, really with the idea of if this is a leadership, or if this is an affiliation that you want to play, what's the best way to make them work? What's the best way to either have fun with them, or to maximize them, or to really get the best out of your time with the affiliation? Then we will, because we are degenerates and love the clicks that we get, we will also put them in a tier ranking for you. So let's start with we'll start with defenders. We have 2 leaders. David, do you want to tell us about the 2 Daredevil? Or excuse me. Oh boy, so much for spoiling the fun. You want to tell us about the 2 defenders leaders?
So there's Daredevil and OG Strange, and they just redid OG Strange's leadership. So I'll probably start with that one. I really like that leadership. At first, I was kind of like, it's only once a turn, blah blah blah. But like the amount of hex you're putting out is pretty good on that thing. I mean, you're probably gonna have your whole team hexed like by round 2 or so. Like it's a pretty good leadership.
And for someone who doesn't have the card in front of them, how does the new Doctor Strange leadership work?
So if I believe attack has to do damage. If an attack does damage, you can choose to use the leadership, and you can give a character hex. And if they are 5 or more threat, they just get auto hexed.
And then that, and how does that compare with what's with Daredevil's leadership?
So Daredevil's leadership is once per turn, an allied character may reroll any number or a number of attack dice equal to the number of enemy characters within 2 of itself. I mean, it's not a flashy leadership, but it's a good one. Like, especially with characters that can like place or charge or have like mobility, where they can like get in range of multiple enemy characters and start stacking rerolls. It's a pretty good leadership. I think it's one of the more. I mean, it's definitely one of the more fighty leaderships. Like, if you want to play an attrition style roster, like Daredevil's probably one of the better affiliations at it. I like it. It's just, like I said, nothing flashy. It's not really a whole lot to like build around. Yeah, you can take some characters that kind of like can maximize those rerolls, like a Sif or something like that, or a Valkyrie, something with a charge.
Characters with clapbacks, those aren't terrible either.
Yeah, characters with clapbacks are pretty good. I mean, Daredevil has his own clapback, so that kind of is a synergy there. I mean, it's a good leadership. It's just rerolls. I kind of am leaning towards liking Daredevil's more than Strange's, but I think Strange's is good in the right circumstance.
JP, what kind of Davis was talking about how Daredevil's leadership is kind of fighty. What kind of a game plan would you be having or wanting to run if you wanted to run with Doctor Strange as a Defender's leader?
You'd probably want. I would assume that a Strange leadership would probably appreciate the Portals play. So either through Strange or Wong, playing her Pentagrams of Farala, and probably playing like a peekaboo type list where you can hop out the portal, mess with somebody, and then kind of leverage the portal in a way that's asymmetric and get a lot of leverage out of it. Doctor Strange is a range 4 character, so you could build something where you have more of a rangey list. It's not necessary, but like if you did that, you could be on more. You could punch farther on more maps. So I don't know. The build's kind of. I think it's mostly like a pentagram, a question of pentagrams, but that's even a Daredevil thing. So like they're all good with pentagrams.
Any thoughts on any additional thoughts on the Defender's leadership?
I personally think, playing Defenders, I played them for a little bit here recently, and I think it's one of the few affiliations that you can build a list with both leaders, and for the most part, most of the characters in the roster will work well with him. Because like Doc Strange's leadership is just, it's good if you punch somebody, and and Daredevil's leadership is good if you punch somebody. The only situations like the one good example, I guess, too, Scarlet Witch and Hawkeye are not good with Daredevil. They're turrets, and like same with Doc Strange. Doc Strange isn't that great with Daredevil's leadership because they're turrets and they want to be out of combat. But for the most part, I feel like the roster is like every model is good with either leadership.
Well, that leads us seamlessly into a discussion about the roster. Let me run through it real quick. It's Daredevil, Doctor Strange, Ancient One, Amazing Spider-Man, Chosen Abast, Panther, Blade, Clea, Sorcerer, Supreme Strange, Elektra, Elsa Bloodstone, Ghost Rider, Hawkeye, Hulk, Immortal Hulk, Iron Fist, Luke Cage, Magic, Man-Thing, Moon Knight, Namor, Punisher, Scarlet Witch, Shang-Chi, Silver Sable, OG Spider-Man, Valkyrie, Wolverine, and Wong. JP, how does that roster stack up in terms of compared to other affiliations and just in what kind of options it gives you for roster building?
I'd say it stacks up pretty damn good. I don't think it's quite Avengers level, but it's pretty close. Let's see, we've got both Hulks, we've got Namor, Shang-Chi, Let's see.
Cage.
Cage.
Yeah, Luke Cage. Luke Cage is sweet.
You got an in affiliation safe steal with ASM.
Yeah, or Namor. You got double.
Or Namor. That's right. That's right.
Those are probably like the top picks, and then like there's just a decent amount of like, well, Wong too. Like Wong, if you're doing pentagram stuff, he's always an option. And then those are probably like the top tier stuff, and then they've got decent stuff underneath. So, and you can fill out a roster with a lot of defenders, or use splashes. I'd probably still go splashes, just to maximize the efficiency of my models. Like they do have some good tactics cards that are defender only, but I'd probably still splash. But you can put together a really good core with defenders. I don't think they're at a loss for anything to pick. Like Man Thing's pretty decent. Like Iron Fist is fine. Hawkeye's pretty good on some stuff. Like OG Ghost Rider's still good. Let's see. Yeah, those are probably. You could make an argument maybe for Valkyrie, depending on what you're doing. Like she's a 3 threat that punches pretty hard, and she can charge round 1. And if you're running Daredevil, you can get rerolls on top of that. So charging round 1 with rerolls is always good. And that if she does damage, it could fuel a next round Warrior of Legend attack or attacks. So she can start her ball rolling faster with Daredevil leadership.
Alex, any additional thoughts on the Defenders roster?
I mean, you're gonna notice definitely the theme of like the characters that are just like really good, like Hulk and Shang-Chi and like Namor. And anytime you guys got these guys in your roster affiliated, I mean, it's pretty good.
Alex, you said that you'd been playing Defenders some. What kind of rosters were you playing?
So my rosters, I was just playing. I played all defenders. I had no splash, and my roster was Doctor Strange, Daredevil, Wong, Namor, Fast Panther, Hawkeye, Luke Cage, Man Thing.
And was
There were
this
two more. But
And was this? Did you play? Is that a list you played after they changed Doctor Strange's leadership?
so this list did not change, but this list I put together before the changes to Doctor Strange because I knew he was going to get changes.
So you played him. You kind of played him both ways. So you really have a good feel for how the change in Strange's leadership changed how defenders played, if at all. You wanna maybe talk a little bit about what your experiences were with that?
Well, when Doctor Strange changed, I really played a lot of his leadership to get a better feel for it. And at first, I thought his leadership was worse than his original one. I personally think it's better. Changing the attack type is really nice, and it does give you a little bit of an advantage. But I feel like the Hex game is better. It's once per turn, and it you get to pick when to use it. It's not a situation where you must use it at a certain point or anything like that. But you're not pigeonholed with like it's the first attack. If you don't do damage, you can't put the condition on the entire turn. You get to turn it on at the very end of the attack step. And
It is nice to have future knowledge of like if you're gonna do damage or not.
right. And like that would really suck. It would be a really bad leadership if you didn't get to pick when you chose to do it. Every game I played with Doctor Strange though, like it felt really good handing out those hexes. Because it really makes you a little like it just makes your models so much better with that condition. It prevents your opponent from spiking, and it like for both attack and defense. So it makes your output or your offensive output a lot better, and it makes your defensive output better too. So all around, it just makes you better because the hex is such a good condition to give out. And every model I played under Doctor Strange felt great.
Okay. So defenders have 4 tactics cards: Cover Me, Mystic Ward, Pentagram of Farala, and Street Smarts. Alex, you want to talk a little bit about those tactics cards and how good are they? What should, if you're looking at defenders, how would the tactic cards affect your decisions?
Well, their tactics cards start with 6 cards: Cover Me, Mystic Ward, Pentagram, Street Smarts, Brace, and Patch Up. Excuse me, starts with 7, because if you're a defenders player and you don't have Luke Cage, I feel like you're wrong. So Luke Cage is just stapled with Heroes for Hire, so your tactics card pool gets filled up pretty quickly. But with the addition of those 3 tactics cards, it really made defenders playable more so. Mystic Ward, fantastic card. Cover Me, fantastic card, especially if you have Luke Cage or a Hulk. Street Smart, it's nice. That one's a little bit harder to play, I've come to find. Because it's also like, okay, I can prevent a push, but if I take that 1 point of damage, it can make quite a difference. Of the 4 defenders cards, I think Pentagram is the worst, not because I think it's a bad card. I don't have much practice with it, so I can't really give it much of an opinion other than like the 2 times I played it. It's just hard to play.
JP, when you were talking about the roster, or particularly about with Doctor Strange, you talked about a pentagram play. Can you, for listeners who might not be super familiar with what that means, can you describe that and how that works?
So, Pentagrams is a card you can play on round 2, and you can play it from long or strange. So, if you're playing strange, it makes it so you don't have to take long. If you're playing Daredevil and you're not playing strange, you have to take long for it. And it allows you to set up portals within. You drop one within 1 inch of your character dropping the portal, and then the other portal within range, like 10 inches of your first portal. And you can spend 1 power to interact with the portal to hop through, and you can only do it once a round. Or, well, each character can only do it once a round, so you can go through, but you can't come back in the same activation.
And that's anybody on the board, both your characters
Yeah.
and your opponent's characters.
Yeah.
Just want to segue before you continue that it has to be played in the power phase, and it requires 3 power. So like Wong has to meditate on round 1 to do it in round 2, and Strange would have to like attack somebody or find some way to gain power if he wanted to play it on round 2.
Yeah, that's a good point. So yeah, the portal will be played round 2. So the defender's player will telegraph the portal play. They'll kind of crowd around the character playing the portal, and then round 2, they'll drop the portal. Typically, it's within distance of a secure, so that they can hop through and contest secures and things. Then they'll drop the second one, and it'll make it so that they can basically interact with the portal with their characters on the second round without having to move to the portal. And they will make it so that they won't open the portal next to any of the enemy characters starting round 2, so that the enemy characters have to move to the portal to go through to where the first portal is. So they're basically kind of gaining actions out of it just off the rip, because they're able to just hop through the portal and teleport range 5 and start getting into people's faces and having 2 actions doing it. Later, if they can leverage that to their advantage, they can just start using the portal to apply pressure in weird ways that a team normally can't, and it's hard for the opposing team to do that without kind of being a step behind, because they basically have to mirror what they're doing, but they don't get to like start next to the portal like the defender player does.
The other thing with that too is you can also, the defender's player, since they're going to probably crowd it when they drop it, they're going to crowd it around their characters. That also helps to prevent your opponent from being able to use it, because if they can't place on the other side of it, then they can't use it.
Because you have to place within 1 of the portal.
Yeah, the savvy defenders players will definitely be very tricksy with their portal placement next to terrain. They'll use their bases to crowd you. Medium and large bases are exceptionally annoying doing that. It can get very hard for you, especially if you're trying to move through a medium or large base through the portal. Yeah, a person who plays with the pentagrams a lot, you can tell that they have everything kind of worked out and mapped, and it's it can be very, very demoralizing when the game's against you.
David, any additional thoughts on the Defender's tactics cards?
So I would shout out that Cover Me is any character. So like getting attacked by random characters in your activation is not very fun.
One more thing to add.
Yeah, go ahead, JP.
With the portals, they can use characters who can actually engage with certain abilities, like charges or places, Hawkeye Hook Arrow or Valkyrie Charge or like Hulk Gamma Leap, whatever. It doesn't matter. They can engage with it, get within range one of the portal, make their attacks, do their whole activation, and then hop through the portal to safety. So they can use it as as an engagement tool or a disengagement tool, and it's kind of a symmetric effect, but not really because they get to place the portals, and like the defender's player is used to using the portals. So if you're playing against them, it's very hard to like edge out advantages with the portals when you're not nearly as used to playing with the portals as they are. So it becomes increasingly difficult, I would say, just with all the factors in mind, and especially on certain maps and certain scenarios. It's just like, and if you're playing certain teams, it could just get pretty wild. One of the worst games of, not worst games, but one of the most helpless games of MCP I've ever played was against a Defender's player. So yeah, it gets kind of wild.
What made it that way, JP?
Oh, just all the things we talked about.
Okay.
It was it was against Nobility at LVO round one of this past LVO. I was playing APOC, so I was playing kind of a short range roster. We were playing on a map D. It was hammers. So I got 2 hammers, but one of the hammers I got with Toad, who was on midline, he just double moved Hulk through a size 4 into him. Did like 4 damage, and then activated. He was 4 wide to my 5, so he activated Hulk, punched Toad, hopped through the portal. Well, punched Toad, killed him, dazed him, picked up the hammer, hopped through the portal. So now I have 1 hammer, he has 3, and he has, I can't remember if he had 1 or 2 on Hulk at that point. I can't really engage with APOC because he's range 3, and all of his characters are huddled on 1 secure. So if I engage with APOC, punch anybody, I mean, even if I kill them, right, he just gang rapes me with the rest of his team, takes my hammer and any hammer I might have gotten from dazing him, and then he has 4, and we were on map D, and he's on the back. He's like huddled on the back of map D, around the portal. That's like surrounded by like Namor medium base, Hulk large base, a piece of terrain. Like I can't engage him. Like I don't have any good tools for engagement. I don't have any good long range. The range characters I had were like magic, throwing like 4 dice attacks, and I had Deadpool. Just like wasn't working, and it was riots, so he was just healing damage anyway. He'd hop through the portal, he'd heal on his home riot, hop through the portal, heal on that riot, so he's like healing 2 a turn possibly with characters. It was just ridiculous. Couldn't do anything.
David, did you want to finish your thought about Cover Me?
Yeah. So Cover Me, I mean, Cover Me is a good card. Like anytime you can make extra attacks, it's always good. And I do think, what is their other stupid card? The Street Smarts? Is that the one?
Street Smart. Yep.
Preventing throws is really fucking good. Like, if you can do it, I mean, it sucks that it's a damage, but man, preventing those is really good. Especially if somebody's like throwing your Hulk. Like, it's good.
Okay, so if someone wanted to play Defenders, what piece of advice would you give them, David?
I would say master using pentagrams. Because, I mean, just as that scenario that JP laid out, like, if you can do that to somebody at an event, man, that's pretty good.
JP, how about you?
I'd probably say the same thing, because without pentagrams, Defenders is kind of just like a bad Avengers. Like they have a lot of overlap with characters, and like all the best Defenders characters are like some of the best Avengers characters. So like pentagrams kind of sets them apart. Like they do have decent tactics cards, but I don't think that's enough to like take them over something like Avengers. And I would probably say to use splash models. as much as I think the Defenders affiliation list is pretty solid, like I think they get some mileage out of splashing models. Either way, either with Daredevil or Doctor Strange. At Squad
Who
Goals,
would
I
you
played
recommend
against,
splashing?
at Squad Goals, I played against a Defenders player who ran Voodoo, and that was super annoying. Voodoo is such a terror with pentagrams. Holy shit. That guy can literally be anywhere on the board and like stealing all your shit. It's pretty insane. It's just like hop through, range 5, like move, possess, pick up. Like, it's just crazy. He could just totally flip a turn on his own from absolute safety. So Voodoo would definitely be one I would recommend just based on that experience alone. Yeah, I don't know. That's the one that's like really calling out to me. I'm sure that like anything that's like top tier is going to be top tier in Defenders. So if you want something punchy, just take something punchy. If you want something like more scenario focused, like Voodoo, take him. Like it doesn't matter. I would just kind of load up on the like A and S tier characters rather than digging farther down into the model pool.
So, since you're the resident Hulk guy, which Hulk do you play in Defenders?
OG Hulk's the shit. Immortal Hulk's good, but OG Hulk is just, man, dude's a problem. Like he's hard to beat up because he just becomes a super bully with extra dice, and yeah, I like the fact that he staggers and he costs 1 less. So like Immortal Hulk gets a lot of. I mean, being able to Siege of Darkness with Immortal Hulk and Midnight Suns feels really good, but outside of that, it's like I don't know. They're both punching for 7 dice, but Hulk gets more if he gets just a little angry. So, I mean, obviously, like having a wild throw trigger is better than having a wild push trigger, but like for a threat more, and I feel like OG Hulk, I do like his spender a little more. Like you're free to use Hulk's power more liberally than Immortal Hulk's. You kind of have to start buttoning up with Immortal Hulk once you start taking damage because you want to come back with the maximum amount of life typically, because I mean you don't want your 7th threat to come back with 3 health. So, but Hulk can just spam power, and it's a lot easier to I don't want to say spend his power efficiently, but like Puny Banner being a reactive ability, like it sucks when you already have 10 power and you're still taking damage. You're like not getting any power back for the damage, so it's essentially free for them. But with Hulk Puny Banner, you can unload power in hopes of preventing damage, and you also open up his pool a little bit to actually gain some power back from taking damage. Hulk effectively, I don't know. I usually play him under Steve, so it's his Puny Banner is discounted to 3, but I would say probably typically he effectively has like 25 to 28 health or something like that under Steve. So it's probably like 23 to 25, 6 health under normal circumstances, which is still quite a lot of health, a lot more than 20. So,
well, and the other thing is, like Wog and Strange can heal him, and Strange can add defense dice, which is pretty good banner too.
100%. And Wong can remove stagger from him. You can kind of make your own Hulk mini boss in Defenders if you wanted.
Alex, any suggestions from you to someone who wanted to be a Defenders player?
None. The David and JP, they covered everything I was going to say. On the positive end, I'm just throwing in a troll. Don't you dare put Scarlet Witch in this list ever. Don't do it.
So, all right. So let's tier list Defenders. Just kind of as a reminder, we have S tier being that the list gives you a competitive advantage. A tier means you can win with the list, and it doesn't really get in your way, but it doesn't also provide a distinct advantage. B tier is they've got some kind of cool tricks, but they also have some weaknesses. C tier is you could win with them, but you're kind of fighting against the affiliation to win with them. And then D tier is Sentinels. Alex, where would you tier rank Defenders?
I think I would personally I would put them in like an A-. I think they're super solid. They're not as good as Avengers, but I don't know. I think they're an A- just strictly because of their roster, their tactics cards, and their leaderships. They're all just good.
Okay. JP, how about you?
I think Alex nailed it. I was going to put him at A- too. So there you go.
Okay. David?
I'm gonna put these guys. I gotta give them an A plus. I think they're maybe it's just my bias towards Namor, but like if you've got Namor in your affiliation, like they're just good.
So close to S tier, but we still haven't cracked that S tier list yet. Okay. All right. So we'll move on to our next list, which is Guardians of the Galaxy. Just the one leader with Guardians as Star-Lord. JP, you want to talk some about Star-Lord as a leader?
Oh, Star-Lord, my boy. We meet again. I don't mean to be gay, but I love you, Star-Lord.
There's nothing gay about that.
He's he's solid. Like his leadership's really good. It's the only leadership that we've ever known for Guardians, and that's fine because it's amazing. And it's going to be really hard to take the crown from Star-Lord as a leader. Like between the leadership and him being a 3-threat leader, that's like a safe chipping leader. Like he's range 4, so he can stay in relative safety. He's just good. Like you look at all the 3-threat leaders, except I guess Magic, and they're all really, really good. Some of them even so good that they get splashed in other affiliations, which is kind of crazy because usually leaders are kind of considered attacks. Yeah, he's winging it. Winging it is just really good. It's still good. Still good. I mean, it's just solid. It's a solid leadership that's always useful.
I was going to say, technically, we've had 2 Guardians leaderships. Star-Lord's had 2, and his first one was complete dog shit.
Yeah.
It was probably the worst leadership in the game.
Yeah, that was what just to for listeners who might not remember that. What did Star-Lord's leadership used to be?
Oh god, it was so bad. You would discard an unused team tactics card to reroll 2 attack or 2 defense dice.
Actually, it was you got winging it. You got 3 winging it tokens still, but you had to put it on one character.
Oh, even worse.
Oof.
No, it's not. It's better, but it's still not.
It's still real bad.
Like being able to spread your winging it is good in a lot of scenarios. Like it would be good to stack them sometimes, but I'd say it's probably better to spread them around.
Yeah.
But when you stacked them, was it still 2 dice or was it 1 dice?
It was 2. It was 2. It was the same thing as now, but you stacked them on one character, but you had to pitch a tactics card. That was the rub. The tactics card is like, come on, man, for real. And that's back when tactics cards were busted.
So the roster for Guardians has stayed pretty stable. It's Star-Lord, Agent Venom, Angela, Beta Ray Bill, Cosmic Ghost Rider, Drax the Destroyer, Gamora, Groot, Nebula, Nova, Rocket Raccoon, Ronan the Accuser, and Yondu. Alex, what do we think about the Guardians roster?
It's a super solid roster. I really like it. It does have one downside that I notice every time I look at them, and then it's kind of a reminder why I don't play them to begin with. They're very high threat heavy. They don't have a large amount of 3 threats. They're one of the few affiliations that's lucky enough to have 2 threats, but those 2 threats play 2 completely different games, I feel. But the lack of 3 threats really hurts them. They have a lot of higher threat, like 4 threat plus models, and some of them are better than others. So Guardians really thrive when they can splash models.
David, any thoughts about either Star-Lord's leadership or about the roster?
So, I mean, there's going to be the obvious characters, like Bill. Bill is good, like always going to take Bill. I think Agent Venom is pretty good. I think his weakness to energy is a little bit overblown. I mean, it still can, he can get melted, but if you play him pretty cagey, like Agent Venom's, he's pretty fucking good. I think CGR still has game. He's definitely not as good as he used to be, but I mean, I think he still has game. He can still surprise you and just randomly one-shot stuff.
All right.
I was going to say, I think the problem with Guardians as their characters go is that they don't really have a really good 3-threat. Like their 3 threats are kind of like Groot
Well,
is fine, Drax is fine. Like
I mean, their best
Just-
3 threats. Their best 3 threats. Their leader.
yeah, I mean that's it.
All right,
But I still think they're a good affiliation list.
there are 3 tactics cards that Guardians have. They have Foreign Assignment, Galaxy's Greatest, and Lovable Misfits. David, what do we think about their 3 tactics cards?
Galaxy's Greatest is good. I mean, anytime you're adding an extra dice on attack on all your attack and defense rolls, like it's just good.
So just refresh listeners how Galaxy's Greatest works.
So, is it in the power phase or is it the activation phase?
I believe it is the power phase.
It's neither.
So,
Oh no, it's just an active card. That's right.
oh, okay. That's
I wish it was
crazy.
power phase.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, because if you don't have priority, then you can't get the benefit from it until you activate.
Exactly. And
Yeah,
these
that
days,
is a little
Guardians, it's hard to run Guardians taller these days. Guardians shtick used to be like, we're gonna run 3 tall. We're gonna try to run 3 tall at the lowest threat we can, and just beat the fuck out of you. But now it's harder with the CGR nerf and the Thanos nerf and losing the 15 threat crises. Like it's much harder to make that work. It's damn near impossible. Because CGR just doesn't do the work that he needs to on maps that he's bad at. So you end up going wider with Guardians these days. So you're not guaranteed to have that prio to make Galaxy's Greatest like an immediate thing that you're doing.
It is a good card though. You play it on an injured Guardian, and they get an extra attack die and an extra defense die for the rest of the game. And every time I've played that card, about half the time the opponent goes, "Wait, that's for the rest of the game?"
Yeah, given extra dice to like Bill, AV, even Star-Lord, like everybody who gets it, like it's noticeable upgrade. Like, oh shit, Gamora has 7 attack dice now. Holy crap! Who plays Gamora? That was a joke.
And actually, Galaxy's Greatest actually kind of makes Angela a little survivable.
Kinda.
Kind of. How about the other 2 cards, David? Forward Assignment and Lovable Misfits. How do those feel?
So for an assignment, I mean, I think it's a good card. Like, I think you got to try to like focus on not being like super greedy with that card. Like, just getting 1 of Star-Lord spenders is good enough for the card, right? Like, using Star-Lord spender for free is on Agent Venom when you can ignore their dice mod. It's really good.
Well, it's one of the only cards that's a free attack these days, right? A lot of the cards with an attack like granted it doesn't have an attack profile, but technically it like could have an attack profile of Star-Lord's attack profile. But it's one of the few cards that gives you an extra attack that doesn't actually take an action, right?
You can get a move out of it, and you can do the similar thing with Rocket too, right? Like,
yep,
and it costs only 2, where Star-Lord Spender typically costs 3, and it gets the bonus from AV's thing where they can't mod their dice against it. So, sorry, keep going, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I do like it. I think there's a whole lot of text on that card. It's like a wall of text. There's probably like 4 of those things you probably don't use, but like the Rocket one is good. The Star-Lord one is good. Groot healing. That's is it heal 3? Is it like a med pack?
Yep, up to 3.
That's good. What is it? Drax and Gamora, they throw him, right?
Drax,
yeah.
Drax basically it's like a pounce. And then Gamora just throws in medium.
So Drax he doesn't take damage from it, but he will take a collision from Gamora's.
Yeah, right. Which is super weird.
It is.
Drax only throws short. Gamora throws long because she has the muscles, I guess. Or sorry, not long, medium.
Yeah.
Stronger than Drax, apparently.
Right?
But Drax must throw faster because Agent Venom counts as a size 3 for the collision.
I don't know how that works with physics, but we'll allow it.
I mean, we are talking about a secret agent symbiote, so I think, physics is a suggestion at this point.
Drax throws harder, but he aims lower. That's what we're going with.
I think I like that. Agent Venom. It's the reason it's short is because he gets there on the one hop.
Drax likes to laugh out loud when he hits people in the dick with Agent Venom.
Yeah, that actually does feel that feels on brand for Drax.
His outburst of boisterous laughter.
It is a card that rewards you for playing the Guardians from the movies because it's Gamora, Groot, Star-Lord, Rocket, and Drax, and that's it.
So yeah, I think that's a decent card. Lovable Misfits, on the other hand, man, there's some good results on that card, and I have lost games because of that card. So I just hate the randomness of it. Like, I don't like not knowing what you're gonna get.
Yeah. I mean, that card won me a tournament game when Cosmic Ghost Rider got to make another Hellfire Blaster. But yeah, it's the randomness makes it really hard to justify. Alex, what are your thoughts on the Guardians cards?
They're fun. I don't hate any of them. There are ones that are better than others. They're fine. You definitely don't leave home without Galaxy's Greatest.
Yeah.
Lovable Misfits you could probably put in the 10. Same with Born Assignment. Yeah, I think they're fine.
So, JP, if somebody wanted to get into Guardians and play them, what one piece of advice would you give them?
Same piece of advice I give every night, Pinky. Try to play Bill every game.
Really, it's hard to go wrong with that one.
I think AV is just such a good piece in this affiliation too. Like, I was playing them after the CGR nerf, and like I found myself playing AV a lot and getting really like a lot of mileage out of him. Getting him with winging it tokens is just really good. It helps you push damage better with him, combined with his no mods can really, and range 4 can really pressure players from like a far distance. And then him having like a place, a size 3 throw, and his beam isn't like just insane. His beam spinner is absolutely insane. He just does a shitload of work for a 4 threat. The problem I was having with Guardians is that I also feel that Galaxy's Greatest is a really good card. So splashing makes it weird because you might not have a great window for Galaxy's Greatest, or your Galaxy's Greatest might not be that great as a played card, because if you're splashing and your splashes get days first, then like the wind gets taken out of that. So I was doing a lot of like heavy affiliated Guardians play, and it seemed to be more consistent with the Galaxy's Greatest. But then you're kind of locking yourself into the roster rather than splashing. I do think that Guardians has enough, like Star-Lord, AV, Bill, they're all really good. And then like I still feel like Rocket's still a super good too. I think Nebula, I like Nebula better now. The CGR is nerfed. Back when I was playing him with CGR at his full power, I didn't like Nebula at all on the roster because why run Nebula when you can run CGR? And running Nebula and CGR just seems like a bad idea because it's a little too much of a good thing. Having 8 threat of your team on the table that can't do anything with scenario kind of feels like it's setting yourself up for bad dice rolls.
You better go all murder all the time.
I think I value Drax a little higher than some of the other guys here that have talked about the 3 threats. I think Drax is still really good. I don't think he's amazing or anything, but he's got 12 health at a 6 or at a 3 threat. Like, that's pretty uncommon. Like a 6/6 at a 3 threat is pretty insane. And then you stack damage reduction on top of it, and the dude is kind of just annoying to kill. And then you give him a size 3 throw, and like he can just get some work done. So I do like Drax.
He's just got to get there to do it.
Yeah, I mean, double medium move is not hard. Like move throw is just a thing that people do. You don't have to be like a long mover to do it. And he can randomly just punch somebody. Like his spender is dog shit. His headbutt is not great. I don't think I've ever used his headbutt, but like his strike, my dice are kind of trash though. Like whenever I'm trying to like double strike with Drax, I can never get the wild trigger on this stupid bleed. So It's rare for me to get the but if you got good dice, play Drax, because if you get the bleed on the first attack, you get double rerolls on every subsequent attack on the target until they're dead. And his vengeance token is no joke. Like getting +3 dice on an attack is pretty brutal. So I like Drax, and I think Groot's fine too. Having a med pack on like built into your guy is insane, and Groot has 14 fucking health at 3 threat, which is crazy, and he just makes Rocket like retarded invincible. So yeah, I don't have a problem with their 3 threats. I mean, they do only have a couple, but like they have the two threats to offset that, and I think their best, like I was saying, I think their best pieces are 4 threat. So like offsetting the 4 threats with the 2 threats seems like logical way to do it to me. So I don't really think that they need extra 3 threats. And I'm kind of rambling, and I forgot what your question was. So there you go.
Exactly covered it. Alex, how about you? If someone's going to play Guardians, what one piece of advice would you give them?
JP said it. Like he covered it really well. I don't play Guardians at all. So if I were to lean on anybody's opinion on that, it would be JP's. But like the big deal that he mentioned, play Bill. I hate that model to death, but I'm not an idiot. If I were to play Guardians, Guardians always start at 7 threat. Star-Lord, and then whatever you want to put in at that point.
David, how about you? What piece of advice would you give someone who wants to play Guardians?
So I would say learn how to play Rocket more efficiently. I've seen a lot of people who Rocket kind of requires some positioning and remembering that he can stand behind a size 2 and you can't see him, like you don't have line of sight to him at all, which is pretty good.
But he can see you.
Yeah, and he can see you. That's the other thing too, right? So he
Right.
can stand behind a dumpster and just pop shots all day, and there's nothing your opponent can do about it unless they can ignore line of sight or they throw the piece of terrain. But I mean, Rocket's immune to collision anyway.
Right.
So I would say, yeah, I've seen a lot of people who will like misposition Rocket or like end up wasting like actions having to move because they didn't properly measure, range 5 to know that they were going to be in range prior to like the round before. Yeah, that's what I would say. I would say just learn to play Rocket a little bit better, because I think Rocket is a really, really good 2. And like, I mean, he's got a range 5 dice energy builder. Like, that's kind of stupid on a 2 threat.
2 threats.
I'm going to piggyback on David here a little bit, and I'm going to say Rocket. Don't be afraid to play Rocket without Groot. Just all the things he said. Like, he's range 5, so he can kind of poke from safety, and then combined with maybe you get lucky with some terrain. I haven't had a ton of luck, like parking behind a size 2 piece of terrain and being in a position where I can just like hit targets. But sometimes it'll happen. But I wouldn't count on that. And don't taking Rocket into like Avengers is definitely questionable because of all the shield throws. Ignore line of sight and cover makes Rocket a very, very sad raccoon.
And I think the opposite's true too. I think I wouldn't be afraid to take Groot without Rocket. Groot's a pretty awesome point sitter.
100%. I agree.
And then if he builds up enough power, his spender is just all kinds of dumb. So
his spinner on a 3 threat is insane.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's very expensive, but goddamn, it does insane work. It's basically a Hulk smash that already has the wild built in.
Plus, he can heal himself, and his card can heal other people too. So, yeah, I think Groot's far underutilized as a 3 threat for what he gives you. So, where are we tier listing? Where do Guardians show up on our tier list? JP, what do you think?
Oh, I'm gonna say I want to give him a B plus, but it might be a little lower. It's between a B and a B plus, somewhere in there. If I could give them like a B plus minus, I'd do that. If that makes sense, which it doesn't. But
I was about to say, I think that just makes it a B, but we'll work with it. Alex, how about you? Where are we tier listing Guardians?
Don't laugh at me.
I would legitimately put them in a B. I think they're super solid. I think just due to the fact that they favor splashing, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It just as an affiliation, if you favor splashing, that, in my opinion, knocks them down a little bit. But yeah, they're a solid B. They're really good still.
Nathan, how about you? Where do Guardians rank?
I give these guys a B plus. I think they're good. They got some good affiliated characters and good leadership. I think they're B plus.
All right. So moving on from B plus to an affiliation that I don't think will be plus, we have Hellfire Club. Hellfire Club is a tactics card leadership, so at least on the affiliations list, there's no star for a leadership. Alex, do you want to describe kind of how Hellfire Club's leadership works?
Aside from terribly.
Well, the leadership's really good. It's just
I apologize. Yeah. The leadership. Give me 1 second. I can't remember what exactly the wording is. 1 second.
David can fill in here. He's been playing them lately.
Once per round at the end of an active allied character's activation, Emma Frost may use this leadership ability. When she does, all other allied characters contesting or holding objective tokens gain a power and remove a damage. All other allied characters not contesting or holding an objective lose 1 power and suffer a damage. Emma gains 1 power for each power lost and may remove 1 damage for each damage suffered in this way.
Yeah, what you said. I like it. It's neat. It makes you play like super scory, which I find that fun. And it does a good job at making your models be able to do what they can do. Like they have better opportunities to play, their superpowers or their spenders.
Yep.
It keeps them on the table longer, keeps Emma alive longer, which is kind of a big deal. It's a solid leadership. It would be like S tier leadership if it wasn't a fucking tactics card.
Well, so Hellfire Club was quite the problem for a while. David, do you want to kind of describe how it used to work and how it works now?
I mean, it used to be you just take anybody you want, you made them affiliated, and that was really, really good, turns out. And now they have an affiliation list that is not great.
So let me run.
There's not enough toilet paper in the Hellfire Club to clean up all the shit that's in the Hellfire Club.
Let me run through the roster real quick. It is Angel, Archangel, Cassandra Nova, Emma Frost, Lady Mastermind, Magneto, Mr. Sinister, Mystique, Omega Red, Psylocke, Shadow King, Storm, and Sunspot. So going from you can take any model in the game to that. How how did that downgrade the Hellfire Club?
I mean, obviously, they managed to get all of the reject mutants. Like they didn't get any of the S tier mutants. Like
they're
what
like
is going on?
Apocalypse, hold my beer.
Yeah,
it's
so bad.
I mean, legitimately, who's the best model in Hellfire Club? Is it Psylocke?
Excluding Emma, yeah, probably so.
Yeah.
I mean, like if you take even counting Emma, if you're not counting the leadership, if you're just taking her card, I think Psylocke's better than Emma.
Yeah, I would say Psylocke's probably in contention for.
I mean, and
best model.
This is coming from the person who still celebrates Angel Day.
So I will say, having played them since Mastermind came out, the Emma Mastermind Mystique thing is cool. Like sometimes it can be really fucking annoying.
So what is that? What's the Emma Mastermind Mystique thing?
So Emma, Mastermind, and Mystique all have the superpower that prevents you from using reactives in their activation. So basically you can have 3 activations where your opponent can't use reactives, including tactics cards, which is, I mean, that's really good. But the problem is that like they're not great models. So like it's tough to get a lot of value out of their activations that you can ignore reactives for.
JP, I feel like you've made your thoughts known on the Hellfire Club's roster. Anything else that you want to say about it?
I'll just piggyback on what Dave was saying. So you can take that triple team, but I just don't know what the team's doing. Like it's randomly good into some affiliations. They have a lot of reactives, and it turns off tactics cards and things. Like a lot of the tactics cards that people like to use are reactive, like recal, brace, fallback, stuff like that. Obviously, those all get shut down. But man, you're just like lowering the power level of both of your teams, and I don't know which one you're lowering more, because you still have to take splashes with Hellfire Club after that core of 3, and like your splashes are probably filling in stuff that by filling in I mean being actually good models. So like I'm gonna be able to use my reactive tactics cards against those models. I'll just save them, whatever. So might not be like the absolute best time to use my tactics cards, but I can still use them. So you're like nerfing my tactics cards a little bit, and then I can't use reactives. Okay, so my character's a little nerfed, but goddamn, like Lady Mastermind and Mystique and Emma kind of just start nerfed. So I don't know. I don't know. Like it's a cool idea. I feel like there's a world where it could be good, like if the game was just different, or they were a little better. But I just don't think it's a thing right now. So comparing it to like old Hellfire, now you have to take a core of 3 shitty characters and 2 good ones, as opposed to like you had to take Emma, who was considered the tax, and then you could take 4 good ones. Because typically Hellfire would run 5 wide. You didn't really catch Hellfire running 4 wide too often. They'd run 5 wide, possibly 6 if it got really high. They'd run Toad, or maybe Okoye. But typically it was 5 wide. So you'd have like 4 really good models, and then Emma, which people started learning how to use Emma better, and she didn't seem as much of a tax. Like initially people were just bitching their asses off that Emma was so bad, but she does have a good spender, and yeah, she has a good spender. That's about it. I mean, she has a range 4 builder, which is fine. Transforming her is kind of a problem though, because if you transform her into diamond form to get her some more defense, or get her into cover with the place or whatever, and she goes down still, like she's waking up in diamond form, and then it's another round where she's in diamond form. Like she's kind of shitty in diamond form. The only reason you'd really put her in there is to like avoid being dazed or KO'd. But like I was saying, if you daze while you're in it, you're really hosed, because now you have an entire activation next round in diamond form. So a lot of players were kind of basically not transforming her until absolutely necessary, aka when she's about to die. So they'd let her daze in normal form. They wouldn't even diamond form her. But then if the threat of her getting removed from the table is there, they'll reluctantly go into diamond form. But I would say she's still a tax. I mean, nobody's splashing Emma. She's not getting a run in like X-Men or Brotherhood or anything. Like nobody actually plays her as a character without a leadership, so she's still a tax. And then anybody on this list is kind of a tax. Like the best character is, let's just agree, it's Psylocke. Like even Psylocke is not Psylocke is not getting splashed anywhere. She's not a premium model.
She's fine.
Yeah. But before Hellfire was like, I'm going to take Logan with exceptional healing. I'm going to take Rhino. I'm going to take Beta Ray Bill. Like, it's just like stacked to the fucking moon with good shit. And now it's like just a platter of turds.
Well, and the DR plus the healing factor plus Emma's leadership, all of those things stacking together is pretty good.
Yes.
Alex, any additional thoughts on Hellfire's roster?
Mechanically wise, like game mechanic wise, JP and David covered it. But from a like comic lore side, I'm glad they changed the roster the way they did, because I don't ever remember Beta Ray Bill being in the fucking Hellfire Club. Do you?
The idea that it seems to run entirely counter. Hellfire Club is like super exclusive, invite only. It seemed the idea of anybody can be in the Hellfire Club seems to be the exact opposite of what it means to be in the Hellfire Club.
Agreed. And if I remember correctly, they were all mutants as well.
Yep.
So fucking Rhino showing up. That made no sense. I could be wrong about the all mutants part, but it was very few non-mutants to begin with.
Now the pedigree is you have to be a steaming turd mutant.
Yeah, one of one of the guys was a robot. He ended up kind of being super duper anti-mutant. He was the first big villain in the New Mutants. But for the most part, yeah, it was a mutant thing.
Yeah. So like game wise, like it made them good. Comic lore wise, it was completely fucking stupid. It made no sense. But boy, they could have helped it a little bit. They could have tossed in like a pyro or like a
Missed
fucking nightcrawler or some shit. Like Jesus
missed
Christ.
missed opportunity both for the roster and the lore to not put Phoenix in there.
Yeah, absolutely. But the affiliation lists be affiliation lists.
So if somebody wanted to play Hellfire Club, what advice would you give them, Alex?
Don't. But to be on the positive side of it, I guess I just act like you're playing old Hellfire Club, but get used to the fact that you have to take two other. Well, if we're including Psylocke, get used to the fact that you have to take one bad affiliated model to be affiliated, and then splash.
JP, how about you? What if somebody did want to play Hellfire? What advice would you give them?
Get comfortable being in the losers bracket.
I feel like I know how you're going to vote on the tier list part.
Well, I don't think it's a surprise to anybody how we all vote for the tier list.
Yeah.
I would say so. The leadership isn't like a difficult leadership to play necessarily, but the timing of it can be a little tricky. So you definitely want to get used to the timing of the leadership, which is, it's like I said, it's not like rocket science, but it's definitely something that takes some reps. So if you haven't seen anybody play it or anything, you might not exactly kind of know how to maximize it. Typically, Hellfire Club player is going to wait until the very last activation of their first round to do it, so that all of their characters, besides Emma, can gain a power and heal one if they have damage. And then they're going to do it, they have an opportunity to do it on their first activation of the next round, which would maximize the power that the team gets as early as possible, but sometimes they'll wait until one or more of their characters has taken damage so that they can use that part of the leadership, which is really good. So just get used to using the leadership and recognizing at what point of the round you want to actually use it, because you only get to use it once.
David, how about you? If somebody wants to play Hellfire, what advice would you give them?
I would say jam A-Bomb, because A-Bomb's a good model, and he really comes out with Emma's leadership. Like the fact that he can deploy on a D and get the extra power round one, where he can double move, throw a terrain piece or something, or double move rad zone somebody, which is really good too. Especially because you're putting poison on them and you're not. Does it put damage on you? It does put damage on you, but you're not gaining power for that damage. So
it doesn't do. It puts poison on them, and it takes a power away.
Oh, it takes a power away. Even better, actually. So yeah, double move rad zone, really good on a large base, especially since he's a medium mover. He can backdive someone's F and just be a fucking problem, and getting healing and power is really good. I would piggyback on what JP was saying about the just get used to using the leadership. I would say you probably at the start of every round, you kind of look at the board state, and then you kind of make a mental note of okay, so I'm going to use this sometime in the middle of the round, or I'm going to use it at the end of the round, or I'm going to use it right out the gate because I want somebody to have extra power. But yeah, it's a good leadership. It sucks to have to play with the affiliated characters, though.
It's invite only, man. It's an exclusive club, and you're not in it.
Well,
is it the club for losers?
Well, I don't think this will take long, but Alex, what tier list do we put Hellfire in?
S tier, meta defining. No, D tier. I gotta put him in D.
Yeah. JP, what do you think?
D for dog shit, sir.
And David?
I give these dudes an F. They're just play something else. it's just too hard to try to like. You end up getting like Emma will just like randomly get one shot because she's too fucking physical. Like I don't know. It's not great.
All right. So let's move on to another group of bad guys, Hydra. Hydra's got 3 leaders: Baron Helmet Zemo, Baron Strucker, and Red Skull, Master of Hydra. David, what do you think of Hydra's 3 leaderships, and what kind of games are they playing?
Oh, holy shit! I forgot that Hydra had 3 leaderships.
Well, Baron, the new core box Baron Helmet Zemo. I think most people would forgive you for forgetting he existed.
You can cut the head off one Hydra, David, but 2 more shall rise.
And now the math works.
Except for they're worse than the first one.
You have 2.
So I think Strucker's leadership is solid. It can get weird sometimes, like if you're not pushing damage, you're not passing conditions back, or if they already have the condition on them, or like it's one of those things. It's like sometimes it can be good and sometimes you don't get a whole lot of value out of it, especially if your opponent is not applying conditions to you. And I think Red Skull's leadership is fine. You can do some cool shit with it. I mean, extra power is extra power, right? Plus, I mean, Red Skull is just a good model, and the grunts are awesome. So, like, yeah.
JP, thoughts on Hydra's leaderships?
I don't know if David talked about Zemos, but Zemos is practically useless now. I would say there was some there were some people were like theory crafting some things for him back before the latest card rotation, where you would kind of take some cheap cards that you could play early on and then switch out of his leadership. But like Eyes on the Prize and what was the other one? R&D. Advanced R&D. Those 2 specifically. Cheap cards you play early in the game. I don't even actually. You know what? Does anyone have Zemo's leadership in front of them?
Pull it up real quick.
I don't think there's really a use for that leadership anymore, especially considering the opportunity cost you have of running Helmet, where you can't run one of the best 3s in the game. So, pretty large opportunity cost in my mind, because when I look at this affiliation list, all I see is Red Skull 2, Baron Zemo 1, and to a lesser extent, Abomination. Everybody else is kind of like an asterisk.
Helmet's affiliation is Army of Evil. When this leadership becomes active, add 1 Hydra or unaffiliated Team Tactics card from your unused Team Tactics cards to your available Tactics card list. It may be played this game. Additionally, once per turn, after 1 or more characters pays power to play a Team Tactic card, choose one of the characters that paid the power to play the card. The chosen character gains 1 power. So there's that.
Okay, so there were some cutesy ideas running around about using Eyes on the Prize and R&D early in the game, and then using the what is that called? The tax card that lets you swap leaderships. Can't remember what it's called. Versatile strategy. Yeah, just to kind of like game out 2 power from him, and then just switch to a different leadership. Which is fine, I guess. But the opportunity cost for not taking Baron Zemo 3 was still an issue, and now it's just like those cards are gone. His leadership's dog shit. So people might think, oh, I get a 6th Tactics card. That seems really good. It would be really good, but like the way they've done Tactics cards at this point in the game, like by the time you get from your first best Tactics card to your 6th best Tactics card, it's like a huge shift in quality. Like your 6th best Tactics card is nowhere near as good as your first best Tactics card. So you're trading your leadership basically for like your 6th best Tactics card in your list, which is in the bottom half, and then you get like some discounts on the it's like some small power refunds, and you're running 4 threat Zemo instead of 3. So it's just, I don't think there's any scenario where you can actually justify it at this point. Yeah, and then like Struckers, I'll just let David's statement stand on Struckers and Red Skull's leaderships. They're fine, but they're not. I mean, they're not like amazing. I don't think they're not leaderships that draw me to the affiliation. Like, man, I really want to play that leadership. Like Struckers is fun. It's cool. It's like definitely unique, and there can be a lot of interaction on the board because of this leadership, which can make the game fun. Which is, I mean, that's what we're here for, is to have fun. But and I don't think it's like a terrible leadership. I don't think it's the best leadership, but it's fine. And it can actually be like very good into some affiliations. It can be actually kind of terrifying, like into like something like Apocalypse. I'd love to see a game where Hydra plays into Apocalypse and just flips all their conditions back into them. Yeah.
So let's talk about the roster a little bit. It's we've got the Baron Helmet Zemo, Baron Strucker, Red Skull, Master of Hydra, Abomination, Arnim Zola, Baron Zemo Original, Bob Agent of Hydra, Crossbones, Merciless Merc, Scientist Supreme MODOK, Red Skull, Master of the World, Sin, Spider-Woman, Taskmaster, Viper, and Operative Winter Soldier. JP, what do you think of that roster of characters?
I couldn't hear you very well. It just sounded like splashing. I think a bunch of turds were falling out of your mouth, maybe.
I'll chalk that up to my new microphone.
Okay. Yeah, like everything you said after Abomination just like fell on deaf ears here. Well, sorry, Baron Zemo was there.
Not a big Sin fan, huh?
Well, I mean, Sin and Viper, come on now. Don't tempt a guy with a good time.
There's that.
You've got the triple Red Skull threat in an affiliation where like only one of them is a leader and he's the best one. And yeah, I don't know. I can't imagine a world where there's a Hydra list that doesn't have, that runs another Red Skull besides Red Skull 2. That's just weird to me. So those two are automatically off the board. You got the two Crossbones, which are, I mean, it's Crossbones. I guess Merciless Mark is probably fine in here. Like a range 3 beam can still do work if you roll hot dice. Like just weight of dice if you can land 2 or like. So if you're throwing a range 3 beam and you're hitting 2 people, you're basically throwing 10 dice in attack. Obviously, not all 10 are concentrated on one target, but like just weight of dice can be good. And if you got 3 targets underneath, you're throwing 15 per attack, so you're throwing 30 dice in an activation, which is not shabby. I mean, he can do work. And then the random skull pierce is good. I think Arnim Zola's pretty butthole. Bob's not terrible. Like he's a 2 threat. 2 threats aren't going to be like super impactful these days. I mean, if you need a 2 threat, Bob's fine, I guess. Sin and Viper, obviously, not great. Taskmaster's fine as a 3, I guess. Winter Soldier at 4, I don't love him. I like the OG Winter Soldier better. Since he's an agent, you can just take him, and it doesn't matter for your affiliation count. Spider-Woman's fine. She's still a decent model. She's obviously fallen out of favor with webs for like better splash 4s. I don't know what that says about Hydra taking her, since they're kind of trying to do different stuff. But I mean, I don't think she's bad. She's a long mover. She has a steal. She's probably one of the better models in the affiliation, to be honest. Which I don't know if that's saying good things about the affiliation, but I don't. MODOK is whatever. I don't love him. Yeah, like A-Bomb and Red Skull and Zemo are like the best. And then everything else is kind of after. I guess we'll get to tactics cards in a minute, but there's like Sleeper Agent kind of definitely makes a good argument for taking splashes in Hydra.
Did you have anything you wanted to add on the roster, or do you want to just dive right into the tactics cards?
Who, me?
No, Alex.
Oh.
No, JP covered it. I've been playing a lot of Hydra recently, and it's like for the most part, those are the same models I keep putting on the table. Spider-Woman hits the table a little more often because I like her for the steal capability. Mm-hmm. But yeah, like half of that roster dog shit.
I would also say about Spider-Woman, I like the poison synergy with her.
With Strucker.
Yeah, it's super nice.
Yeah, Strucker and A-Bomb, right?
Yep. Okay, so Hydra has 7 tactics cards: Endless Legions, Inevitable Betrayal, Occult Research, Scientific Method, the High Council, 2 More Shall Rise, and World Domination. Alex, what do we think of Hydra's tactics cards? What stands out? What have you found to be really useful?
They have one tactics card, and that's World Domination, and that's only good on 2 crises. Overall, they just don't have tactics cards that are really worth playing. I tried playing a lot of these cards, and they are just bad. High Council is so hard to get off. Inevitable Betrayal costs a lot of power. And the rest of them, I read them, and I just cannot figure out why they're even worth putting into a roster.
David, how about you? What do you think of the Hydra tactics cards?
I don't know how the fuck they have so many tactics cards that are just so fucking bad. Like, it's like they were like, oh, Shield, you guys get all these cool tactics cards. We're gonna give some to Hydra. Yeah, about that. They're all terrible. Like, World Domination is like, I guess if you're running the Crisis for that card, then yeah, it's probably usable. But it kind of overexposes you if you're going to do that on round 1, because I don't like wasting Red Skull 2's activation and like you're just like walking grunts. Like, I mean, that kind of sucks for a 5 threat on round 1.
Okay, so if you wanted to play Hydra, what one piece of advice would you give somebody? Alex, you've been playing them. What would you, if somebody wanted to get the most out of Hydra, what would you suggest?
Your core is at a minimum 10 because you start with Red Skull 2 and Abomination. You might start at 13 if you want to play Strucker's Leadership. But if you're playing Strucker's Leadership, and this is what I'm trying to figure out, go real hard into the condition game, especially with the poison, because it's got a good synergy with Abomination, Spider Woman. We had mentioned them previously. And aside from that, like, yeah, they're kind of a play around with splashes affiliation. And boy, you load up on character tactics cards. You're gonna need them because Hydra does not have any tactics cards really to speak of. Even their one tactics card that's kind of worth taking is not that great.
I suppose Sleeper Agent isn't technically an unaffiliated card, but
It is,
you
yeah.
need to play Hydra in it as well. So where does
Yeah.
Sleeper Agent kind of how does that fall in with the other tactics cards that we talk about?
Oh, it's a fantastic tactics card. It's so good. But I'm trying not to play with it because it's too fucking easy. A fucking eye Hulk with Sleeper Agent is just fucking snoozeville. So boring.
I don't know, Red Skull, A-Bomb, and like Immortal Hulk. That seems like a really fun 17.
No, David, you didn't get that shit at Squad Goals. You can fuck off with that. That was one of the worst fucking experiences I've ever played. It's so fucking boring, and it sucks to get ripped a new asshole when you can't do anything about it.
Other than Sleeper Agent chicanery, David, any other thoughts on Hydra's tactics cards, and any other suggestions on how to get the most out of Hydra?
I would say just play A-Bomb. A-Bomb's good. He's fun. I like him.
JP, how about you?
Like, I've tried to wrap my head around Hydra and what they're trying to do. They're kind of like a spider foes to me. They're like an enigma. I don't quite understand what's going on with them at their, like, mechanically at their core. What makes them better than other things? Like, I just don't know. I don't really have any suggestions other than, like, play the good models. Play Red Skull 2, play Zemo, play A-Bomb, kind of like what I said at the beginning. I would say that if I was going to make a Hydra list, I would probably start by trying to build around World Domination and taking Fisk and Wedding Party just to push the mid kind of beat 'em up style and get that early jump on the victory point and the power, which can kind of turn characters on from the beginning, give you some tempo, that you might not otherwise have in that affiliation on round 1. Like it can turn on Zemo's charge and still save his I'm a Baron card. It can turn on A-Bomb's throw or his Rad Zone without having to throw a rock at somebody. And then I would say probably try to, like, I think Sleeper Agent is kind of probably one of the defining aspects of the affiliation, is to like make a big ass threat that has the Mystique, Emma, Lady Mastermind ability of like not having reactives. Like not being able to react to iHulk is pretty big deal. So like it's Alex is trying to avoid it, but it's probably one of the defining things. Like I don't think it's like the only way to play them, but it's definitely kind of a Hydra flavor in my mind, is to take a sleeper agent and
It
I mean,
definitely is.
obviously there's other ways to play, and that's not what I'm saying. But if you're gonna try Hydra, like you might as well try all the flavors of Hydra. So don't take Baron Helmet Zemo though, like ever. That's my recommendation. Don't take him ever.
Right, so tier list wise, Alex, where does Hydra fall on our tier list?
So I'm gonna take this with two mindsets. They fall fairly close in the tier list. Looking at the current state of the game and how they actually play, everything into consideration, a realistic tier for them, I think, is a C plus. I've been enjoying them. I think they could be a B minus, but I think a C plus is probably where they're at.
David, how about you? Where do we rank them tier wise?
I think these guys are a C. Like, I think you could have fun with them. They're not the worst thing to be playing, and yeah.
JP, what about you? What do you think?
I'm gonna go with Alex. I'm gonna go C plus.
Okay, then let's move on. I think we'll finish up our episode with this one. We'll move into Inhumans. JP, we've got 2 leaders, Black Bolt Original and Maximus the Mad. What do we think of Inhumans leaders?
Sorry, I don't. Something's going on with your mic, Patrick. You said Black Bolt and who?
Black Bolt and Maximus the Mad. That is actually a leadership. I promise I'm not making it up.
I didn't.
Don't leave out Medusa.
Oh, that's true. Medusa's got her. Thank you for reminding me. That's right. Medusa's got her tactics card leadership. So, of the 3 leaders, what do we think of the leadership options for Inhumans?
I mean, if we're being real, there's only one option, and it is not Maximus.
So, talk a little bit about why. What makes OG Black Bolt's leadership so good?
Well, it's attached to a chassis that's been buffed to be a very good 5 threat. Contrary to what some people in our meta have to say about Black Bolt needing something extra. Yeah, the dude slaps. I don't know. Like, they changed him to be kind of a monster.
He's so fucking good. Like, ridiculously good.
Like, his toolkit is just pretty insane. He's got the best bodyguard in the game. I mean, I'm surprised Black Bolt doesn't get splashed more. Just because, like, he's kind of turrety, like a Scarlet Witch or something, but he also has his spender lets him get around a little bit if he's within range. He can like place, and he's got displacement with that. But man, he just 6 dice with a reroll and pierce at range 4, energy, really good. And like the bodyguard's crazy. You don't want to flip the dude, because then he's going to wreck your shit. But yeah, like the leadership itself is one of the best leaderships in the game. It's just power manipulation across your team. And there are multiple characters in Affiliation who start with more than 1 power. Most notably Lockjaw and Black Bolt himself, after the buff, starts with 2 power. And if you're feeling frisky, you can take Rona with Power Stone, who starts with 3 power. But being able to move power around round 1 turns on so many things that it makes them a really tricky affiliation. It's kind of like playing Steep 1, but different. And if you know what you're doing, it can be really. You can set yourself up. You can set your opponent up into some scenarios where they don't have. They're just like on the back foot. Namely, like on F extracts with Prio. Well, not even with Prio. It doesn't have to be with Prio. You can lose Prio and be on an F extract and still go up on extracts. So it's pretty crazy if you know what you're doing. Black Bolt's the man.
Any additional thoughts on Inhumans leaders?
I mean, I don't think Maximus is worth talking about. Like, I don't like him as a character. I think we could open up the discussion a little bit if his character was good, but it's just like a low tier leadership on a low tier character. So like, what are we even doing here? And then Medusa's is fine. Like, it takes a tactics card though, so you're losing your 5th best tactics card, which is kind of going back to Helmet Zemo. Like, yeah, I mean, it's not as good as you might think. Like losing, or it's not as bad as you might think. Losing your worst of the 5, but it's still attacks. Like you're still down a tactics card for a leadership that's not like I would say it's probably worth losing a tactics card for the Hellfire leadership if the affiliation was good, but losing it for the Medusa leadership, I don't think it's probably worth. Like, it's not that Medusa leadership is bad, but I don't know. Losing the tactics card seems a little extra to me. Damn you, Convocation.
Alex, any additional thoughts on Inhumans leaders?
Side note, shot. I didn't know we were going to be doing shots this episode.
Yeah, Convocation did kind of come out of nowhere on that one, didn't it?
It did. JP fucking nailed it. He said exactly what I was going to say.
Okay.
Mad Max. Why OG Bolt? Why anything else? Medusa's fine. I guess you take her leadership if you want to play King Black Bolt.
Yeah, exactly.
David, anything else on the Inhumans leaderships?
So I tend to really like leaderships like Bolts. So like I really like Chuck's and I really like Steve's. So like I think Bolt's leadership is really fucking good. Like JP was alluding to about like playing an F extract and losing Prio and still having extract advantage. Like they have like so much potential to like steal your extracts from your side of the table and get to relative safety between like Quicksilver, like triple long moving and getting an objective, or like Quicksilver doing the can I borrow that to take an objective from you. They've just got like so many ways to put pressure on your opponent's extract that it's hard for a lot of teams to be able to recover from that.
Quicksilver,
Especially when they got to deal with Bolt, right? Like, because you can have your like extract, like your squishy extract grabber, like grab an extract and run back to Bolt, and now Bolt's bodyguarding, and you're good luck getting that extract off.
Yeah, the bodyguard as that extra layer. Quicksilver's been largely forgotten by this game, but he is such a fucking role player in Inhumans. It's kind of insane.
So let's talk about, let's go over the roster a little bit. We've got Black Bolt, Maximus the Mad, Beast, Crystal, Gorgon, Karnak, King Black Bolt, Lockjaw, Medusa, Ms. Marvel, Quicksilver, and Ronan the Accuser. Alex, what do we think of the Inhumans roster?
Honestly, I think it's a pretty solid roster. There's not like any. No. With the addition of this new box, like they had a glaring issue because they didn't have any a large amount of 3 threats at the time, or at least ones that were commonly taken. But with Karnak and Gorgon being added, that really helped their 3 threat issue. Ronan's the weak one in this weaker, I think. Very similar to his Guardians role. Like, we didn't talk about him at all when we talked about Guardians. He's definitely the weakest link in this roster. Super solid. They've got really good 3 threats. Their 4 threats are, Medusa's good. I think that's their only 4 threat other than Ronan and Mad Max, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so their 1/4 threat is good. King Black Bolt's great. OG Bolt's great. I think they're super solid. It stinks they don't have a 2-threat, but that's whatever.
Any other thoughts on the Inhumans roster?
Don't sleep on the fact that most of the Inhumans have a innate reroll, which
Mhm.
is when you play all of them on the table, suddenly it becomes like a leadership. And don't sleep on Gorgon. I think Gorgon is really good. He's an excellent model. His spender is really fucking stupid for a 3-threat. Like, let's just put Hulk Smash on a 3-threat. Like, Jesus Christ. It's really
Yeah,
good.
Gorgon's. I'd agree. Gorgon's solid. After seeing the box in action a little bit with Gorgon and Karnak, I'm not sold on Karnak. Just Gorgon having the action economy of the charge combined with his ridiculous spender, and like taunt is just randomly good, or it can just be
Gorgon.
like not randomly good. It's just good if you play it right.
Yeah,
He's
Gorgon
just
is fucking stupid good. Karnak,
he's
I've played him against him a couple of times. He's a fine 3-threat. I don't hate him.
also noteworthy with Karnak, and going back to what David said about the Inhuman reroll. Karnak does not have the Inhuman reroll, but Gorgon does. So you'll kind of see like a pattern here. Like Black Bolt's got the reroll, Gorgon's got the reroll, King Black Bolt's got the reroll, Medusa's got the reroll. So like a lot of the characters you're going to be playing are going to have the reroll, and then a lot of the characters you won't. Like Quicksilver doesn't, and Lockjaw doesn't. Well, no, Lockjaw does. What am I talking about? So that's like 5 of the 6 that I would say are probably well. So I we could get into that discussion between Black Bolt and King Black Bolt. I guess I'm automatically kind of like anti King Black Bolt just because I'm saying that Black Bolt's the only Inhuman leadership you should play. Although I do like King Black Bolt, I don't think he's that good in Inhumans. Probably there might be some scenarios where maybe you want to play him, but I'd say largely like. You're building a Black Bolt list, you probably want to build a Black Bolt list and not have King Black Bolt, but we can get into that in a little bit, I guess. But I don't think, like, they have a lot of 3s, and I don't think you need a ton of 3s. Like, between Gorgon, Lockjaw, and Quicksilver, I think you're pretty much covered. I don't think you need 4 3s, so it's whatever. And then you can start splashing after that. Because you can really not break, but you can really push some models by giving them extra power from Black Bolt round 1. So if you're looking outside of your affiliation for that, you can definitely find better characters to exploit the push than some of the ones that we already have in here.
Okay, so the Inhumans have 7 tactics cards: Adelan Rising, Genetic Prophecy, In Homo Supremus, Inhuman Queen, Inhuman Royal Family, Terra Genesis, and the Great Refuge. David, what do we think of their tactics cards?
So Great Refuges, Rainbow Bridge, and the convocation one, right? Orb lets you place 3, right? Is it 3? It's 3 power, right?
For each two power spent to play this card, choose an allied Inhumans character without an objective token. Place each chosen character within 3 of its current location. An Inhuman character with an active leadership ability may spend any amount of power to play the card.
So it's offset the power cost. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, arrange 3 places. It's really good. Like if you can maximize when you're using it. Side note: Bolt starts with 2 power, so you could technically do this on round 1.
Yep,
100%. And we're talking about Bolt, who doesn't have any action economy. So I mean, having a range 3 place on that dude is pretty legit.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So, I mean, it's a good card. I think you definitely consider it in your 10. It may not make your 5 always, just because you can't do it while holding an extract, and Inhumans are going to want to play the large amount of extracts. So it might get into a weird situation where you only have like 1 person who can place or something, which is still fine. It's good. What was the other cards? Terra Genesis, is that the one where you can make people drop extracts?
Choose an enemy character holding a civilian token within 3 and roll 4 dice. Deal damage for each hit, crit, or wild. If the enemy character is dazed or KO'd, you get 2 victory points.
It doesn't make them drop it, right?
It does not. It does not. It just you get the 2 victory points if you daze or KO the character.
So this card is kind of similar to the foes card, but you don't have to worry about the tax of having to take like a Doc Ock.
Mm-hmm.
I do I do think this card is good because you're probably going to be playing civilian extracts, because that seems to be the like a lot of teams are trying to do that because the presence of characters like Namor who can't force drops on non civilian or non assets.
You can't borrow civilians with Quicksilver though. Notably,
Right.
Yes, you cannot borrow civilians with Quicksilver. So I think that card is solid. You're probably going to take it. What other discard?
We've got the Inhuman Queen, which is Medusa's leadership. The Inhuman Royal Family. Each Inhuman character can spend 2. Once that round, each character can re-roll any number of dice in one of their attack or defense rolls.
that's probably their best card, is my opinion.
Yeah, that's a pretty good card.
And then Genetic Prophecy. If you have 2 fewer victory points than your opponent, Blackagar Boltagon can play the card. You get 2 VPs, and this round, this character cannot make attack actions.
Hate
So
it.
I think that card's pretty. Yeah, that card's pretty terrible. Anytime you're not being able to attack with Bolt is kind of shitty. I definitely don't like it. And it's also conditional on you losing the game, right?
Right.
Which, like, that you could, like a savvy opponent might do some shit like just keep you within 1 victory point every round, and then you just never get to play it.
So if someone was wanted to play Inhumans, what one piece of advice would you give them, Alex?
Always have OG Black Bolt. There's just if you don't put him in your roster, you're not playing Inhumans. You're just wrong. And yeah, just keep an open like I think you should keep an open mind with their 3 threats. You can go really wide with them without needing splash. And or at least not needing a splash 3 threats. Because like Beast is a super solid 3 threat. He's not the best one in their affiliation, but he's still a solid 3 threat. Looking back at their roster, like I am very impressed with their 3 threats. They're super, super good. Don't sleep on Medusa either. I haven't seen as much of her since all these new models have come out and with her nerf, but she's still a really good model. I wish I saw more of her, to be honest. And their tactics cards, like they're going to be tactics hungry now. So get used to that. You're going to have to be really choosy with your tactics cards. Not because they suck or anything like that. It's just there's a lot of good ones, and like having to fit in your restricted cards, and if you want recal, I mean, it's going to get tough.
David, any additional suggestions for someone playing that wants to play Inhumans?
So I kind of want to hop off what Alex was talking about the width thing.
Okay.
So tactically speaking, the more activations you have, the more opportunities you get to use the leadership, because the leadership is once a turn. So maximizing activations might actually be pretty good, because you're like, if you're going like theoretically, right, you're going 1 more wider, that means that you're going to get 1 more opportunity to pass a power to somebody who could use it, and you can like effectively start rubber banding power. By that I mean, like, you activate 1 character, he'll pass a power to somebody and then do his activation, and then that character will activate, and that character will use that power to get closer to the enemy, make some attacks, and then pass a power back to the character that spent the power in the previous turn, so you can start like basically chaining power, which is pretty good. I would say just master, like, find the jank, right? Like anything that's going to be super janky that you can do on round 1. I mean, that's going to be super fun. Like the Quicksilver Steel, or I mean, there's like you can make Hulk a mid grab, right? He can double move, grab, leap back, right? If you pass power to him.
Yeah, I mean, let's see, you can do it cheaper. You can do it cheaper with other characters, but yeah, Hulk can do it.
And you can like enable things like, if you splash Namor, you can enable a round 1 charge, which is really good on Namor. Same thing with like a Shang-Chi or, I mean, any of these characters that just can do something useful with an extra power on round one. Like, it's good. And then you've got Lockjaw's teleport to combine to that, so you can really, really, really get some stupid jank. Like, you could throw a Hulk into somebody's face. Like, you can do a lot of things.
All right. So where do Inhumans rank on the tier list? Alex, what do you think?
I'm gonna give them an A-. I think they're really good. I don't think they quite are low enough to hit the B tier, but I think they're an A-. They're super good.
Okay. JP, how about you? Where are we at tier wise?
I'm gonna give him an A.
All right. David?
I think these guys are going to be my first S tier. I think
Ooh, we
I think
finally
they're S
have
tier.
an S vote. So why S?
Well, Bolt's leadership is so good, and Bolt is so good, and like, I mean, all Inhumans are usually the topic of the like what, like in the Discord channels, a lot of people are like, well, how do you have plans to deal with Inhumans or Inhumans' ability to like just go up on you on like an F extract or whatever. So I feel like if you're having conversations about what to do about a specific affiliation, then they're probably an S tier one.
I think that's probably a decent metric. Yeah, I could see the logic of that. So
I don't know. I
Patrick,
think David's taking his own dice into consideration.
yeah, that's fair. If I had one suggestion with them, it would be get used to leadership again. I've kind of said that for a lot of leaderships, but I feel like Black Bolts is kind of tough because you can only pass power within range 3 of them. So it's not like a board wide or like a limitless range thing. So practice that leadership for sure. Because there'll be times when you just miss position. Inhumans is positioning is very critical for the Inhumans in general. Like between Lockjaw having to position to get extra power and Black Bolt, or the whole team having the position to pass power with the leadership. If you're not careful, you can kind of biff your whole turn.
Okay, well, Webheads, what do you think? We'd like to hear what you think about some of these different affiliations. We've had some feedback in terms of what you thought about some of our conversations about our affiliations. We appreciate that. You can find us on all the socials at Witty Bantercast. You can email us at wittybantercast@gmail.com and at patreon.com/wittybantercast. For as little as $1 a month, you can provide us with some support to help keep the lights on, to help support this content, as well as to kind of get some cool benefits for yourself. So we're now 3 episodes in, and we've made it all the way through the eyes. So, gentlemen, I think we're making good progress. We will be catching up with you next time. Until next time, Webheads, be good.